Right now, as you read this sentence, the universe is expanding at 70 kilometers per second. Every single second, space itself is growing. The distance between galaxies is increasing. Dark energy, like invisible hands, is pushing every fragment of the universe in different directions. This process has been going on for 13.8 billion years. It won't stop. Never will. But there's a problem. In 2003, scientists discovered something. This expansion is accelerating. Not moving at a constant rate, but faster and faster. Like a car with failed brakes racing down a mountain, the speed is spiraling out of control, the direction cannot be changed, and there's only one destination. The 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to 3 people. They proved the universe's accelerating expansion. But no one celebrated in their acceptance speeches, because they simultaneously proved something else: the universe has an expiration date. Not maybe, not possibly, but inevitably. And scientists have already calculated 3 ways it will die. Each one more desperate than you can imagine. 100 billion years from now, the night sky will become pure black. Not the black of night, but absolute black. No starlight, no nebulae, not even the Milky Way visible. Because by then, all other galaxies will have retreated beyond the observable universe. Light speed can't catch up with the speed of space expansion. Their light will never reach Earth. Like letters sent to the dead, forever in transit, never delivered. Scientists gave this phase a name: the collapse of the cosmic horizon. Sounds academic, but what it actually means is if humans still exist then, when they look up at the sky, they'll think the universe contains only the Milky Way. All textbooks will be wrong. All telescopes will be useless. The entire universe will shrink in their eyes to a single island, surrounded by infinite void. No neighbors, no direction, no evidence that anything else exists out there. But that's not even the worst part. Wait. There's something worse. 10 trillion years from now, the last batch of stars will begin to die. Not explode, but slowly dim, like oil lamps burning through their final drops of fuel. Red dwarfs will hold out the longest, they burn the slowest, with lifespans 1,000 times that of the sun. But eventually they'll cool, surface temperature dropping from 300 degrees to 300, then 30, then 3. Finally as cold as the cosmic microwave background radiation, 2.7 Kelvin, 270 degrees colder than liquid nitrogen. By then the universe will contain only 3 things: black holes, corpses of brown dwarfs, and wandering planets. No light, no heat, no new stars being born. Because the interstellar gas will have been used up long ago. All hydrogen that could burn has already burned, all elements that could fuse have already fused. The universe will become a giant recycling center, filled with burned garbage. Cold, dead, eternal. But black holes will remain, they're the universe's last living things, slowly evaporating through Hawking radiation. A solar mass black hole's evaporation time, 10 to the power of 67 years. That number written out is 1 followed by 67 zeros. Takes 15 seconds to read, and that's just the lifespan of a medium-sized black hole. Supermassive black holes will live even longer, 10 to the power of 100 years. On this timescale, the universe's 13.8 billion year history doesn't even count as a blink. Finally, when the last black hole evaporates, the universe enters heat death. Temperature becomes equal everywhere, energy cannot flow, time loses meaning in the physical sense. Because the essence of time is change, and in heat death there is no more change. No events, no causality, no before or after. Only a field of uniform, cold quantum fluctuations, forever, forever, forever. This is the big freeze, the loneliest death. Not instant destruction, but slowly watching everything extinguish, like a night watchman watching the last lamp die out, then waiting in eternal darkness for a future where nothing will ever happen again. But what if dark energy spirals out of control? In 2003, astronomers discovered dark energy accounts for 68% of the universe's total energy. Its true nature remains unknown. Some say vacuum energy, others say a fifth fundamental force. But everyone agrees on one thing: it's getting stronger. If this trend continues, the Big Freeze becomes the Big Rip. Here's the timeline. 22 billion years from now, galaxies disintegrate. Dark energy becomes strong enough to tear apart galactic gravity. The Milky Way's 200 billion stars will scatter like exploding fireworks. Each star flying in a different direction, faster and faster. The solar system begins its lonely drift, no other stars visible anywhere around it. Only accelerating points of light receding. Final 60 million years, the solar system disintegrates. Dark energy becomes strong enough to overcome solar gravity. The 8 planets are stripped away one by one. First Neptune, then Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, and finally Earth. Earth, torn from its orbit, will freeze into an ice ball at -270 degrees within 3 months. The atmosphere solidifies into nitrogen snow, oceans into ice blocks, the core into an iron sphere, then continues accelerating away from the sun, flying toward the void. Final 3 months, planetary disintegration. Dark energy becomes strong enough to overcome molecular bonds. Earth's surface begins to crack like dried mud. First continental shelves fracture, then mountains shatter, rock layers peel away. The mantle tears, the core is exposed. The entire planet transforms from a 12,000-kilometer diameter sphere into countless floating fragments within 3 months, each fragment continuing to be torn smaller. Final 30 minutes, atomic disintegration. Dark energy becomes strong enough to overcome the strong nuclear force, the strongest force in the universe, the glue binding protons and neutrons together. But in the face of dark energy, even this force fails. Atomic nuclei begin vibrating, then splitting. Protons and neutrons are torn apart, electrons stripped away, matter ceases to exist at its most fundamental level. Final instant, space itself tears. Dark energy becomes so strong even quantum fluctuations cannot stabilize, the vacuum begins to boil. Space is torn into shreds like fabric, space-time continuity breaks down, causality fails, physical laws collapse, the universe literally disintegrates. How fast is this process? From galaxy disintegration to space tearing, a total of 22 billion years, but the final stage from planetary breakup to space-time collapse takes only 3 months. In the final 30 minutes, atoms, molecules, every form of matter will be torn into cork soup in the violent expansion of space, then even the cork soup will evaporate. In 2015, scientists calculated the probability of the Big Rip, 22%. Not zero, not theoretical possibility, but 1 in 5 real probability. If dark energy's equation of state parameter W is less than -1, the Big Rip is inevitable. Current observational data shows W equals -1.03 plus or -0.03, within the margin of error, right on the critical threshold. In other words, we're not sure if the universe will slowly freeze to death or be violently torn apart, but there's a 1 in 5 chance. That 22 billion years from now, one day, space will begin accelerating its tearing of everything. First galaxies, then stars, then planets, then molecules, finally even atomic nuclei won't escape. And the entire process from start to finish will take only months. But there's a third possibility, the most counterintuitive one: what if the expansion reverses? Scientists calculated this possibility back in the 1920s. Universal expansion is the aftermath of the Big Bang, like shrapnel from an exploding grenade. But if there's too much shrapnel, gravity too strong, they'll stop flying apart at some point, then start falling back. This requires universal density exceeding the critical value, 6 hydrogen atoms per cubic meter. Current observed value is 0.3 hydrogen atoms per cubic meter, 20 times less. So the big crunch probability is low, but not zero, because we still don't know how much dark matter there really is. Suppose one day the expansion really stops, what happens next? Early phase. The horizon begins expanding, galaxies stop receding, distant light begins catching up. The night sky grows brighter and brighter, because galaxies we could never see before, their light can now reach Earth. Astronomers will be ecstatic, thinking the universe is giving gifts. Mid-phase, temperature begins rising, galaxies begin falling toward each other, faster and faster. Cosmic microwave background radiation temperature rises from 2.7 Kelvin to 3, then 10 Kelvin. Then 100 Kelvin, the sky begins glowing red. Not sunset red, but infrared red. The entire universe is heating up, like an oven. Late phase, galaxies begin colliding. The Milky Way and Andromeda collide, not twice, but countless times, because all galaxies are falling toward the same center. 200 billion stars mixing together. Orbits chaotic, collisions frequent, the night sky becomes a sea of fire. Supernovae explode hundreds of times daily, gamma-ray bursts as dense as lightning, the sky no longer has night, only different levels of brightness. Critical phase, matter begins melting. Cosmic background temperature rises to 1 million degrees, stellar surfaces begin evaporating, planets vaporize into gas, molecular bonds break. Atoms ionize, matter degrades into plasma. The entire universe becomes a pot of boiling particle soup, no solids, no liquids, even gases don't exist, only high-speed colliding atomic nuclei and electrons. Final moment, back to the beginning. Temperature rises to 1 billion degrees, atomic nuclei begin fusing, then splitting, then fusing again. Physical laws fail under extreme conditions, space begins warping, time begins slowing. All matter, all energy, all history compressed back into a singularity, infinitely small volume, infinitely large density, infinitely high temperature. Then what? Then perhaps there will be another Big Bang, perhaps the entire cycle begins again. 13.8 billion years of expansion, 13.8 billion years of collapse, another explosion, another expansion, never ending. But here's a terrifying detail. If the universe really is cyclical, every collapse destroys all